Dear students, today I take this opportunity to discuss the 3D geometry, the basic concept I will discuss in this session. So it is very helpful for your JEE CET examination. Always as for a theory example, very important concept. Today let us begin this. So let us begin with the points. So three-dimensional geometry, if alpha, beta and gamma are the angles made by the vector A with positive directions of x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively, then cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma are called direction cosines of the vector A and usually denoted by L, M and N respectively. That is L equal to cos alpha, M equal to cos beta and N equal to cos gamma. Second point, the real numbers A, B, C which are proportional to the direction cosines L, M, N of a line are called directions ratios of a line, and it is given by the expression L by A equal to M by B equal to N by C. If R represents the vector xi plus y1j plus z1k is a vector along the line AB, then this x1 y1 z1 it will represent direction ratios of a line AB. See, other than I, J, K, that is x1, y1, z1, these are called as a direction ratios. So already these things we are discussed in a theory class. So just it is a revision for your competitive examination. Then next, if A, B, C are the directions ratios of a line L, then its direction cosines are given by, that is plus or minus A divided by magnitude of this, that is under the square root of A square plus B square plus C square. Next we have a B, so plus or minus a B divided by under the square root of magnitude of this A square plus B square plus C square. Similarly plus or minus, so third it is, that is a C under the square root of A square plus B square plus C square. Very easy to remember, that is corresponding the direction ratios divided by magnitude. Yes, along with we have to take a plus or minus sign. So this is a expression. So direction ratios of a line equally inclined to coordinate axis are, that is here what we are going to get it here is A is 1, B is 1 and C is 1. We have to substitute in this formula. So we get 1 divided by under the square root of 1 plus 1 plus 1. So we get a root 3. So we get this as plus or minus 1 by under the square root of 3. Plus or minus 1 by root 3. Plus or minus 1 by root 3. So like this we have to find direction cosines of a line equally inclined to coordinate axes are given by this particular expression. Very easy to remember this. So next we have L square plus M square plus N square equal to 1. So this implies cos square alpha. I have told already, that is L equal to cos alpha in a first point. So L square it will become cos square alpha, M square plus cos square beta, N square cos square gamma equal to 1. It is a unity. So this can be written as sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus sin square gamma equal to 2. So like this we have to write it. So remember these conditions. So for many example it is very helpful. If P equal to represents x, y, z, three-dimensional it is. Yes, and magnitude of OP equal to R, then direction ratios of a vector OP given by the expression L equal to x by R, M equal to y by R, N equal to z by R it is. Yes, so this is the expression here, right. Next point, direction ratios of a line joining the point P x1, y1, z1. Point Q, x2, y2, z2 r. So we have to find a length PQ. So you can see here, this is a P, this is a Q. The length is taken as, you know that. So we have to take a final value minus initial value. That is length PQ is, we have to take OQ length minus OP length. So final value minus initial value. You can see here x2 minus x1. Next coordinate y2 minus y1 we have to take. Similarly z2 minus z1 here. So this is a length PQ and its direction cosines are. So first coordinate here is x2 minus x1 divided by magnitude of PQ. You know magnitude of a PQ is what? Under the square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. So that is a magnitude of a PQ. So similarly we have to replace it by y2 minus y1 divided by mod of a PQ. Similarly z2 minus z1 divided by mod of a PQ. See next point, direction cosines of x-axis means it will lie in a x-axis. X coordinate is 1. See, then y coordinate we have to take it as 0 and z coordinate is taken as 0. You have to remember this point, very important. Direction cosines of x-axis, because which is lying in a x coordinate. So x coordinate it is taken as a 1 and y and z coordinate we have to take it as a 0. Similarly y axis means y coordinate is 1 and x and z coordinate we have to take it as a 0. Similarly z axis means z coordinate is 1, x and y we have to take it as a 0 here. So like this you can remember, very simple. Which is lying in a which axis, no, take it as a 1, remaining we have to take it as a 0. That is direction cosines along x axis, y axis as well as a z axis. Now next one, if L1, M1, N1, so this is a direction like cosines, you know, cos alpha 1 we can take, cos beta 1, next cos gamma 1, like that. So L1, M1, N1 are direction cosines, L2, M2, N2 are direction cosines. Then angle theta between the lines is given by, that is angle made by these two direction cosines are given by the expression cos theta equal to L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2. Like this, using this expression we can calculate here. So very simple it is, you can remember. Already in a theory we have discussed this, so just it is a revision for you. So now 10th point, if A1 B1 C1 C and A2 B2 C2, these represents direction ratios of two lines, then angle theta is given by. So actually in a theory class we have derived it, and here you have to remember this formula. Cos theta is very simple, A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2, and under the square root of magnitude of a first vector, that is A1 square plus B1 square plus C1 square, and magnitude of a second vector under the square root of A2 square plus B2 square plus C2 square. Like this you have to remember. Next, if the two lines are perpendicular, then perpendicular means their dot product we have to take it as a 0. Yes, already in vectors we have discussed this. So you will be given two vectors. This point you can take it. This is a one vector, this is another vector. If it is a dot product is 0, then they are perpendicular to each other. Vector A1 dot, you can say A1 and one more you can represent it as a B1. So dot product is 0, then it is a perpendicular. Then here also A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2 equal to 0. Then parallel means we have to take a ratio, A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2 equal to C1 by C2. That is one vector and another vector. See, when they are parallel, you can say both vectors are same, or else you can say one vector will be there, another vector will be multiple of another one. You can see I plus j plus k is one vector. Then one more vector which is parallel is, I can write that as a 2i plus 2j plus 2k. If you take a ratio of this, no, what will happen? So we get a 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 everywhere same. So it is called as a parallel here. Okay, I hope I have cleared the difference between what is a perpendicular and parallel in a vectors. Okay, yes. Then P is a point having three coordinates x1, y1, z1, and Q is another one. It is having a coordinate x2, y2, z2. The length of a projection of a PQ on a line whose directions cosines are L, M, N is given by. So very simple it is. So first we have to find the distance between PQ. See here it is given PQ. So I told you in a vectors we have to take a final value minus initial value, that is OQ minus OP we have to take it, that is x2 minus x1, next y2 minus y1, next z2 minus z1, like that it will come, and direction cosines each we have to multiply, that is L into x2 minus x1 plus M into y2 minus y1 plus N into z2 minus z1. Yes, so like this we can find length of a projection of a PQ on a line where whose direction cosines are given. So not only the formula I am discussing, I am telling the simple hint, trick how to remember this formula. Yes, frequently you should go through it. Really you will become a master in 3D geometry. The next point P, it is having a coordinates x1, y1, z1, and Q is x2, y2, z2. Projection of a PQ on x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis is given by. X-axis means we have to find the difference between corresponding coordinate, that is PQ, final value minus initial value. Remember, so continuously I am repeating this. So you want to find a difference in a vectors or 3D geometry, what you have to do? Final value minus initial value we have to do. So it is x2 minus x1 along a x-axis. Along a y-axis is y2 minus y1. Along a z-axis is z2 minus z1. So here it is clearly mentioned. Along a x-axis x2 minus x1. Y-axis y2 minus y1. Along a z-axis z2 minus z1. Like this we have to find projection of a PQ on particular axis. Now next point, equation of a line through the point whose position vector A and parallel to the vector B is given by. So here what happens is one vector is parallel to another vector. So its vector representation is actually in a theory class we have derived it. It is a vector R equal to vector A plus lambda times vector B. So lambda it is called as a scalar quantity, you know. Here lambda I have not mentioned, so vector representation, that is a arrow mark, that means it is a scalar quantity, that is a one sign how scalar are represented. One more, scalar means here it is a lambda, it is a length, that is a one vector is there, another vector it is a parallel. So two vector, how much distance is there? So maybe a 5 unit, 6 unit, 1 unit, that is represented by a scalar quantity lambda it is. Now next, equation of a line through x1, y1, z1 and having direction ratios a, b, c are given by. Equation of a line through x1, y1, z1 and having direction ratios a, b, c are given by x minus x1 by a. So x minus x1 by a, next y minus y1 by b, z minus z1 by c, and this is equated to a lambda here. So then further, so first this equation is equated with a lambda, second is equating with a lambda, and third is equating with a lambda, and we get a solution here, that is any point on this line it will be in the form, so a is multiplied with a lambda, it is a lambda we get it, and minus x1 transporting to a RHS plus x1 it will become. So first coordinate I am going to get it as x equal to a lambda plus x1. Next one b lambda plus y1. Next is c lambda plus z1. It is like very simple. Already in a class we have derived this equation. Okay, yes, fine. Now the equation of a x-axis is, x-axis means the point which is along a x-axis is that coordinate is taken as a 1. So remaining two axes we have to take it as a 0 here. You can see. Here solution is x equal to 1, y equal to 0, z equal to 0. Similarly, y-axis, I told you along a y-axis y is taken as a 1, remaining two we have to take it as a 0. So x equal to 0, z equal to 0, we have to take y equal to 1 it is, right. Similarly, z-axis is, it is x we have to take it as 0, y equal to 0, and along the z-axis, so we have to take z equal to 1. So like this it is a represented. So similarly, next point we will discuss it. The equation of the line passing through the points whose position vectors are a and b is given by the formula. See here, the equation of a line passing through a point whose position vector is a and b, it is given by vector r equal to vector a plus lambda times vector b minus vector a. This is a formula. So it is vector form, the equation. One more is there, Cartesian form. Cartesian form means it is in terms of algebraic quantities. There I am taking a points x1, y1, z1 is a vector a, and x2, y2, z2 is vector b. Then this is given by x minus x1 by x2 minus x. Similarly, very simple it is. First one we have to remember, and second one is very simple. So just we have to change it. Wherever x no, represent it as a y. So we get y minus y1 by y2 minus y. Next y is there, replace it by z. Z minus z1 by z2 minus z. So like this we can remember this. Okay. So only one function we have to remember. Remaining function very easy to remember. Right. Okay. Next one. Two lines are said to be coplanar if they lie on the same plane. Coplanar means like if it is a lie on a same plane. See, just take an example of our classroom green board. I am writing on a green board any equation. That is, so whatever we are writing, it is in a same plane. Correct? So that is a same plane. Or else there is a one green board. We are drawing a one one craft. We are drawing on it. So that is what we are on representing same on a one plane it is. So it is called as a coplanar. Two parallel lines are always coplanar. Parallel lines, they are coplanar. Two non-parallel lines are coplanar if and only if they intersecting. If they are intersecting, it will lie on a same plane. Just you can see, I think you can see my picture. So here this is a one plane, another plane will be there, it is a perpendicular. Okay, so yes, like that. If they are intersecting line, they are plane, they are lying on a same plane. If it is a perpendicular here like this, then it will lie in a different plane. Yes, I hope you clear this point. Yes, fine. So next there is a equation, the lines. So it is represented as x minus x1 by a1, y minus y1 by b1, z minus z1 by c1, and another one is just it is represented wherever x1 no, it is 1 no, 2 it is represented, are coplanar if and only if. See, determinant value is 0, very important. See, you will be given a vector, then when it is a coplanar, if determinant value is 0, that is, so I am taking this as a first axis, x1, x minus x1, next one x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1, just I am taking a difference. Then this one I am taking a1, b1, c1, next I am taking a2, b2, c2, and this determinant value I take it as a 0. So 19th it is 19th point. The shortest distance between skew lines is r equal to a plus lambda alpha, and vector r is a plus m times b is given by this formula here. So shortest distance between means like two lines are there, minimum length is the shortest distance. So skew lines means they are not perpendicular here. Okay, so such type of lines are called as a skew lines. Okay, yes, it is given by this particular formula. Next, if the projection of a line joining point P is given, point Q is given along the coordinate axis A, B, C, then PQ is under the square root of A square plus B square plus C square. Okay, this is a formula for projection of a line P and Q along the axis are A, B, C. Then it is given by their axis square, A square plus B square plus C square. Next, distance of a point x, y, z from the x-axis. From a x-axis means x-axis it will be there. We have to eliminate that, y square plus z square. Y-axis means y-axis take it as 0, x square plus z square. Along the z-axis is z is 0, we get x square plus y square. Yes, remember under the square root of x square plus y square plus z square, in which axis? No, that axis we have to eliminate. So we will get a distance of a point xyz from particular axis. Now foot of a perpendicular from xyz on x-axis is, so x-axis is, it is x-axis is we have to represent it, and remaining we have to take it as a 0. Along a y-axis is 0 y 0, along the z axis is 0 0 z. Very simple. Okay, yes, you can remember these things. So last 2 points are there, let us discuss those. Angle between two diagonals of a cube is, so it is given by the expression cos inverse 1 by root 3. Next, if a line making an angle alpha, beta, gamma and one more row, then 4 diagonals of a cube, then so it is given by the formula cos square alpha, cos square beta, cos square gamma, cos square delta equal to 4 divided by 3 here. That is a expression here. Using that expression we can represent it. So today we have discussed about 3-dimensional geometry, important concept. Already in a theory class we have discussed all these points. Just I have told some of a memory technique, how to remember a formula. Along with that, so all these points we have discussed it. So skew lines and parallel here, skew lines, they intersect one another here like that. So already we have discussed in a theory classes, just it is a revision. So dear students, kindly go through this video. It is very helpful for your theory class as well as for your entrance examination. So thank you very much. So next session the problems we will solve it. Okay, thank you for watching. Once again, thank you everyone.